Join us every weekend, oh, the vibe's so fine. Saturday, sit down with Mr. Drayton. Shine!
Grab a friend.
Yo, I love that. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Saturday Sit Down with your man, the talented Mr. Drayton. You know, you name your stage name, something that you want to give yourself a compliment every day. How about that? I love that. I love that. Welcome to the Saturday Sit Down. As I do each and every Saturday, I invite you to sit down with me, and I've dragged the homies along so we can have a great conversation about today's current events, this and that, from sneakers to hats. I'd like to give you my lovely co-host and assistant, Swag for Life, Tuesday nights on Swag for Life and TikTok. So until Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., you will find me choking with beverages coming through my nose from laughter, because we're trying to find out, are the straights okay? Are the gays okay? Are people okay? No, nobody's okay. Shit is
nobody's okay.
In Tijuana, six leagues below the sea, with a cat and a sewing machine. Swag, how are you, sir?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday. We say in the South. Happy Saturday with a U.
Saturday, right.
Your skin regimen is popping. We're gonna have to talk about that in Patreon after the show. Patreon.com/mailmediamod. Well, amongst many things, we'll talk about Swag's skin regimen, because his skin is shining so much. When I talked to him this morning, I was like, "Is it hot in your house?" He was like, "No, I'm shining, sir." Well, another shining face down below, the founder and my partner in crime in this endeavor we call podcasting. Oh my goodness, it's been I've been on air, I don't know, 5-6 years now. It's just getting crazy. I'm losing track. I always tell the story. He invited me on. I fought it for a number of years, and now it's a passion of mine. Malcolm Travers, Wednesday nights on Malcolm Travers, the Philosopher King. We've been having tons of fun lately on Wednesday night. It's been. I know you're not one for laughing at.
Yeah, I love the fact that you bring levity to some serious topics, because sometimes I'm like talking about what it means to be alive, just like sort of existential dilemmas.
I'm going to tell you, America, one day he's going to reach through that screen and stab the fuck out of me. I'm going to be making I'm like, shut up, right? And that's going to be it. No, but in this day and time in life, we do need levity and understanding to topics. So we'd like to thank you for.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys for humoring me on Wednesday.
No, it's not. But you know what? We found out later in the week that we need that. As the person that monitors the M3 mailbox, Facebook, Mail Media Mind, Instagram, Mail Media Mind, Twitch. And if you want to watch us on YouTube, you can do www.youtube.com/mailmediamind, and you can participate in the show. You can leave a comment like my man over here, Demon Exists. And happy Saturday, you handsome men of Mail Media Mind. Can't wait for your calendar to come out. It's going to be a belly calendar. I'm going to be May. So, yeah, wait for the calendar to come out. I love it. Stop giving me ideas, Demon.
I've been trying to get Thick and John to do that. It's like they always kind of get shy when they get those kind of comments. Yeah. I'm like, y'all better lean into that.
No, I will do it.
What they want.
It's so bold on their social media and then shy on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing about it. And I want to say, as I always do each and every Saturday, thank you for tuning in. And every week here is Fan Appreciation Week. I appreciate you guys so much. So we know that you have your choices in entertainment, and thank goodness you've chosen us. Today, I am rocking a Sade t-shirt. If you want to can you give me a big screen? This is
sure can.
People always ask, what t-shirt are you wearing? So today I am wearing my girl Sade Helen Fela Sade Adu, the lead singer of the band Sade, in case you didn't know that. Sade is not a person, it's a band. So hopefully she'll be coming out with something new this week, but that's today's t-shirt. Now, I am bringing back, the whole show used to be called this, but I am now bringing it back as a segment because you guys asked for it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, afro braids and bald heads, I give you the Black News.
This is Black News.
I miss that music.
I kind of miss that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
music when I wake up in the morning, Malcolm. So I just sit on the edge of the bed and do a shimmy and shake.
It is very funky. Yes.
Right, it is very my favorite type. You know, it's all good. Listen, so Swag, you work in corporate America. Okay. So if you had a client to give you a gift worth $400 million, allegedly, could you take it?
I could not. We are strictly forbidden from taking any types of monetary gifts like that, especially a $400 million plane. Yeah. now I could take it, but I wouldn't have a job anymore. But then I'd probably sell it and then be like, hey, I ain't got to work anymore. But yeah, they frown upon that. We take all kinds of training on, what is considered, inappropriate, things like that. And that would definitely be on the list of things you should not accept from.
Malcolm, in your years of corporate America, could you take gifts?
No.
Right. The answer is no for everybody, just in case. Cheat sheet, the answer is no. Okay. I tell you, I was an underwriter for many, many years for a very large bank. And if I took anything from a client, I'm being walked out the door immediately. Even in my capacity as a civil servant, I served our government for many, many years. Retired, amen. And no, it was a no. It was one of the first things we talked about in training. Like, because of your position, these people will try to curry favor. And from the smallest, minute thing, they will try to, because every little decision affects something else. But anyway, so guess what y'all's president did? Y'all's president has taken a plane from the allegedly supporting terrorist government of Qatar, has taken a allegedly a plane that's worth $400 million. We'll get into the details of that if the value assessment is actually what it is or not. But this young man, this old man, Shitty Draws, Orange Demon himself, has taken a $400 million gift. Now it's gonna cost. Now he's gonna shit his diaper when he finds out it's gonna cost that much to retrofit it to make it Air Force One, because Air Force One has special equipment into it, so the president can be the president. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like bulletproof glass, and I think like the engine is protected, so nobody can get to it.
Mm-hmm. Has to withstand like nuclear attack. It can be refueled from the air.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In secure communications. Like, yeah.
So that is just
now he's not gonna care because it's not gonna come out of his pocket, But I just find it interesting that this whole idea of like Doge saving the American taxpayer all this money, and yet here they are talking about accepting a plane, and it's going to have to be taxpayer dollars to get this plane ready to be able to become, the next Air Force One. So,
Right.
Malcolm, I want you to watch this clip. I didn't take because I'm not going to be triggered by the orange monster himself. So I do. I am now bringing you things that I enjoy. So watch the clip of my new friend who parodies him quite often, and we are actually, you may see him on this air because we are fastly becoming friends. Because I was like, "You, sir, are amazing." Run that clip, and we'll talk about it on the other end for sure.
Hello. I am sorry for the dribble drabble. I'm going to have to read to you. This was the orange bloated donut in Qatar talking to people there. I need you to hear it because I need you to hear it. I'm going to read this verbatim. Are you ready? Here we go. Bear with me. We named the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America. That was very popular, other than perhaps with Mexico. And most importantly, for the people in this room, the days of economic misery under the last administration are rapidly giving way to the greatest economy in the history of the world. We are rocking. The United States is the hottest country, with the exception of your country, I have to say, right? I'm not going to take that on. No, Muhammad, I'm not going to take that on. Wouldn't that be a terrible thing if I made that full statement? But I will not do it. You're hotter. At least as long as I'm up here, you're hotter. But groceries, gasoline, energy, and all other prices are down with no inflation. We have no inflation. In a few short weeks, we've created 464,000 brand new jobs. Think of that. It's almost 500,000 jobs created in just a matter of weeks. Okay, I can't. I can't keep reading that nonsense. It's pretty bullshittery. Upchuck. You know what I mean? What the fuck? He's a fucking embarrassment, is what he is. I'm in the mood for nachos again.
It's his delivery for me. And so I commented one day on something he said. He actually inboxed me. He was like, I saw some, he told me, he saw some of my comments on YouTube during the election. He was like, "You're awesome." I said, "No, you're way more awesome than I." And I love his laugh. He is from New Jersey. He is amazing. And I said, "You will renew my faith in white people." He says, "Don't." Don't need to go that far because we like each other. I was like, "I know, you're right." Okay. So that is funny. There's something called, he's violating all kinds of things, but you know, and he's also, we'll get into it in a moment about some challenges the Orange One has had this week. Along with accepting gifts, I didn't pull anything about this because it just crossed my mind. They fired the Librarian of Congress. This woman is under contract. So whether she goes to work or not, they have to pay her for another year. And then she is appointed by Congress. So he doesn't even have the right to fire her. So when he fired her, all these people came over because they wanted to make copies of copyright things that they had, because that's where every copyright and everything is housed. When you make it, you know, back in history, it's housed in the Library of Congress. So these private people, a group of them came over, and the staff, because thank God there's still staff there, they came, they said, "No, you cannot," because their badges wouldn't let them in. You know, they're like, "No, you cannot have access to these things." And now, dumbass, she's another one that is getting paid to sit at home, but he cannot fire them because she's appointed by Congress. So now we're circumventing Congress. Congratulations, sister. Sit at home. Fuck them. Stay at home. Don't even your staff will take care of them not getting into to make copies of this.
Right.
So while we're tooling around on Capitol Hill, let's talk about what happened yesterday. So this big, beautiful bill that gigantic, just beautiful and fantastic tax cut that your president wanted to give. So 5 of his fellow Republicans backed out and said, no, thank you. I like my job better than I like you, because I think somebody's starting to realize, hey, your age or you, this is your last go round. So your age and your shittiness and your dementia is not going to outweigh the fact that I want a job next go round. So they joined with the Democrats and said, no way, Jose. And Malcolm, this was terrible. The bill was terrible. Because I want people to understand, you may not be into politics, but what happens is when you have a tax cut. Now, for whatever reason, all 300 million of us don't pay taxes anyway. Whether we're retired, we're unemployed, we just don't pay them, But we do not collect, as a country, we do not collect enough taxes through payroll to sustain roads, bridges, schools, any other things, even the things that dear leader likes to maintain.
Right.
You cannot cut up all the taxes. And because we have found out through the Reagan years, through the Bush years, and through the first Trump years, that the trickle-down economics do not exist. White people richer, and they will not give it to us, or they will not give it to the working class. So that's not working. So I'm not going to give them kudos to Republicans. Fuck y'all. Y'all just doing what y'all supposed to do in the first goddamn place. Fuck off. November of 2026, party people. I started doing this segment because now is the time for us to kind of turn over and start doing a little bit of work, because now we're going to have to start doing this. Interesting enough, here in the planet of Atlanta, they're now running senatorial ads. And have you noticed, Malcolm, that the Democratic opponent is not running ads yet because he has them by 20-something points. Now, that won't always be the case, I'm sure, because Wade's built in, whatever. But I don't believe John Ossoff has anything to worry about with his seat. Because for some reason, these people want to continue to tie themselves to the orange bloated diaper wearing fuck. Good luck with that.
I was going to say John Ossoff is a very good campaigner. It should be noted.
Very popular.
He's actually really good.
Yeah, he's very popular. He and that yummy morsel, Reverend Warnock.
Yeah.
I want to replace my Nicole music and make it my Reverend Warnock music. Reverend Warnock. He happens to be the nicest guy in creation, by the way. He's a hot daddy too. Go Reverend Warnock. Run. Go John Ossoff. He's young. He's like under 40, and he has this young, beautiful wife. She's like a medical provider. Wonderful, wonderful people.
Yeah, I think he was the second youngest senator other than Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Joe Biden won when he was 29 and was sworn in when he was 30.
Yeah.
And I think John Ossoff was like
33.
A little over 30, yeah.
32, 33.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this again. This is going to come in play. 100,000 people a month are moving to Georgia. 78% of those people are people of color. I do believe that Georgia has seen its best days with being reliably Republican. Now, will it go back and forth? Maybe, if they continue to suppress the vote. That's the important thing that we have to fight for in all states. We have the numbers, party people. Let's just get it and get it going, okay? So, in other orange news, he's being a dick. He had a meltdown on his lying social media thing yesterday. He had the fucking mitigated gall to say, the Supreme Court is rigged by you.
So wait. So he put Because he put what 4 justices on there,
Yeah,
and it's still rigged.
the Supreme Court is rigged. Oh,
Oh my gosh! What a
fucking
what a-
man, baby, ass, white, pussy lips, diaper wearing, orange fuck face. Yeah, it's rigged by you, bitch, and even your own court knows that. Now, you want to talk about buyer's remorse? Boy, are they having it? They are having it. They are having buyer's remorse out of this world. You have backed a loser. Anyhow, so just November 26th, y'all stay home, do boots on the ground, get your fans out, go see Beyonce. I think Lady Gaga is now hitting the road. If you're a Gaga fan, if you're an Uncle Charlie fan, go see the Gap Band. Do what they do. Do what you gotta do.
Go see Sinners. Go see Sinners again.
Again. Find your screen I'm looking for. If anybody's in the state of Georgia, you know where that screen is because it's somewhere around here. I just don't. It's too many movie theaters to figure it out because I've been calling and they're like, no, not us. Speaking of that, in Patreon, I'll be talking about what's missing in Sinners for me. What's missing in Sinners is blues music and the contribution of LGBTQ people was totally missing. But you can't put everything in everything. So I'm just going to say around that time that they're missing mom's what's her name? Ma Rainey. Ma Rainey, who was a lesbian.
Oh, Ma Rainey, okay.
Ma Rainey, who was a lesbian, and her people and things like that. So yeah, so those are things we'll be talking about that in Patreon as well. So yep. So Malcolm, do you ever have a really hot cousin?
Yeah.
Would you date him on the down low?
No.
Right. Swag. Do you have a hot cousin that you might?
I do not. I have told you I do have a cousin, and I keep telling you I
thought about you when I saw this.
A 75-year-old Jewish woman. so absolutely not. I am not.
Demons exist. Do you have that hot cousin you might want to bang, 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 bang? Oh, listen, we have a few states in the United States that family marriage is not illegal. You know what? I was in my bag yesterday, so I decided Thursday I was going to start producing the show. And I normally wait till Friday and now I know why I wait, because it's sensory overload. I run into too much stuff. And then I tell my trusty producer up his swag. He's like, I'm on it, Rose. I got it. So he had totally had it. We've been friends for years. And this morning, I finally seen the look of frustration. I've reached
No, you did not.
I've reached my saturation point, Malcolm. He was like, I'm on it, nigga. Just stop, okay? Enough with the goddamn memes and the direction and the notes. But
I have told Greg. I have told the story that those scenes from The Devil Wears Prada, where it's like, remember that piece of paper that I wrote on last week and I wrote something down? Find that for me. It's like, okay, I'm on it.
why is nobody ready?
Right, exactly.
She is my spirit animal. That character that she played is my spirit animal. But yeah. Hell no. Anybody. So I'm gonna let y'all watch this and then we'll talk about it on the other end. That was a reason I asked the question.
People are nasty.
Here are the American states with the highest numbers of cousin marriages last year.
Cousin. Your parents' siblings' children.
Some U.S. states, cousin marriage laws are either lenient, non-existent, or allow for marriage under specific circumstances.
Ugh.
Here are the top 5. We have the state of Massachusetts, with an estimate of 105 cousin weddings in 2023.
Who sits around and looks this stuff up?
But the rates increase in California, however, with about 440 cousin weddings last year.
One is too many.
And in New York, the number shoots up to about 487 cousin weddings. New York permits cousin marriages fully.
I got nothing.
2023, Florida saw about 500 of these marriages.
I could have gone the rest of my life without knowing any of this.
In first place, the rate of 700 weddings in 2023 is Alabama.
That's in my brain forever now.
Now, who's shocked?
Yeah,
I was shocked that West Virginia wasn't on that list because when you shared it with me, I said West Virginia. He said no. He said you would be surprised. West Virginia is not in the top 5.
Guess
I'm like,
what?
I am shocked.
I went back because I love what I do for you all. Listen, I went back. West Virginia has laws on the book. You cannot marry your cousin.
I am shocked.
South Carolina.
And, with all the jokes that we make about West Virginia, it's like I'm shocked that
Not
they're not
true. Get off West Virginia's neck. They are fully present.
And, there's also like adjusting for demographics too, like, how many cousins there are, like how many people there are in the state, and then how many people have cousins, depending on that.
Oh,
the size of their family.
I don't. I think that's not even. I think the point of that, and for me, was not just that. Then I started thinking about my own cousins. I was like, no, definitely no.
Well, I'll tell you that I did fuck a cousin once, and the way that happened is because I have a very large family. It wasn't a first cousin, but it was like one of those, like my grandmother had 12 siblings, and each of her siblings had, I don't know, 4 or more kids. So like on second or third cousins, I have about 300-400 cousins. So just saying, it's not crazy.
That's a lot of cousins, man.
It is. That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like when you get into like southern states like Alabama, I feel like that just is fucking family structures are different. I hate to say it. Southern states have some crazy large families.
Let me tell you something. My mama was one of 16. I'm the last of 5. And she made it a point, as best as we could as a family, to know. I know my 5th cousins. Like, we all grew up in this unit. If you call me cousin, we cousins. I am kin to a whole town in Virginia. Yeah, and Petersburg.
Yeah, I'm staying right here. So
Petersburg, Virginia. I don't know. It's maybe 100,000 residents, and I'm kin to at least a quarter of those people. At least. Think about it now. My grandmother had 16. Each one of them had an average of 3.7 kids. They all migrated from the South to Virginia. We all started having children. Now I am on, not only in my grandparent, but I'm on to my great nieces and nephews. I have a great niece that's 19 years. That's 19. She called me and she said, let me send you my first grades. I said, your grades from where? She said, oh, I go to see you. Bob didn't tell you. Bitch, what? You're like an adult. And so it's funny, like, I swear to God, even with your niece, Swag, like, when did these people become grown people? When she was damn near a freshman when we became friends. And I'm like, when did these people, like Malcolm, how old is your niece now? 4 or 5? She's 4?
She's going on 4. She'll be 4 in November.
Right. She was this big. Whole fucking sentences.
Right.
Like, she's talking and she's making sense.
Right.
No sentences. Now let me tell you the story. So I have a little baby, Gregory, my grandbaby. But there's one beside him who I call Ma'am. Ma'am will be 4. Okay, Ma'am thinks she is my mother. Because I think spiritually she is. I think she's reincarnated as my mother. And I think, and I have to call her ma'am. She will not, if I call her name, she will not answer me. And it's not out of disrespect. She'll know who I'm talking to. So she calls me Gregory, and not Gregory. She calls me Gregory. And so I have family members that have never met my grandkids because they don't live, because I don't live in my core family. They don't live near me. And, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
But Malcolm is on to something when you have families that large. But there are enough people in the world for you to stay out of bed with your cousin.
I will say I don't
went back and
I don't
saw
think so. Like if you haven't really been with your family, because that was my case. Was that
what
like
Malcolm was talking about.
there's a town here in Georgia where, like I said, about a fourth of my family is in some way related to me, and I was raised in Chicago, so when I came down here, it was like later on, I was like, you know what, you kind of look familiar. And lo and behold, I go back through some like family things and I realize like that's my third cousin, like that's so and so's son. I was like, oh God.
But you don't fuck in that town.
I guess in that case I just didn't care. I mean, like, no.
But in this case, the woman, the research material was done on first and second cousins.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't go beyond. I wanted to give that caveat.
Yeah, so I mean, in this case, it was a third cousin, but still, I honestly didn't care. I mean, it was kind of weird if I had continued to see this person, but
did y'all do the nasty?
Yeah, and it was great. Like, fuck it.
Plus, I would imagine it would be different. Like in your case, Mal, I guess it would be different if like you guys grew up together. Like you said,
right.
I mean, you were in Chicago and they were down south. So it's like,
I knew he had my family's name, and I just,
What? And you knew with your nasty.
I knew it was a possibility. Yeah, I didn't care.
Now, right.
I didn't know who he was. Like he didn't know who I was. So.
But wait a minute. So shouldn't you talk about the G? If y'all in so Swag, if somebody's last name was G, let's just say G, wouldn't you like, hey, are you kin to? Wouldn't that be the natural course of conversation, Malcolm? Because you don't have.
Well, let me ask you. Am I asking as in a heterosexual context or a homosexual context? Because that does make a difference. It's like, look, we can try all day long, but we ain't gonna be having no babies. So I'm just saying.
Okay. Point taken. But the other thing is, are you having a get to know me?
Right?
Like, okay, and it's Drayton is not all that common. Black news, dickmatizing DNA. Yes.
Yes, I was going to say, we didn't exchange last names until after the deed was done. I barely did.
Okay, you better clear that.
Just like...
Bitch, I saw you differently immediately.
Because after the deed was done, I was like, you know what? Oh, shit.
Wait. Malcolm, as soon as the pants came down, you should be like, wait a minute. You look familiar. It looks awful familiar to me.
Like your dad is my mom. Oh,
yeah, God. Because it could be a little, it could be a little narcissism there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going on?
But I have heard of. As a matter of fact, there's a podcast that I listen to, and they normally take they take kind of questions from their audience, whatever. And this woman wrote in talking about like she was hanging out with some of her long lost relatives, and she met her cousin, and they ended up sleeping together. It's just like, and for some reason she wasn't weirded out about it. I guess because like it was just a hookup. I don't know. I guess. I know probably like siblings would be like, now that is completely off the table. But I mean, cousins are like, well, we're related, but we're not like direct siblings, so maybe it's okay.
Well, you know what's interesting about this though is like in our ancestral history, and I know this doesn't really matter to our current state of affairs, but like if you lived in a tribe, of 150 people, the chances of you not marrying a cousin was basically zero. Like you might meet someone who was integrated into the tribe from somewhere else. Like everybody was cousins to everybody. Like the tribe was a huge family. And so if you were going to marry anyone, they were in some way related to you.
Right.
I mean, I guess now we live in societies that are much larger, so I think our preference is naturally towards people who are genetically dissimilar to ourselves. In fact, a lot of people said that. I mean, now we've taken it into like this kind of gross, like, oh, you're fucking your cousin. But generally speaking, we find people who are more genetically dissimilar to us more attractive, generally.
Right.
I mean, that's the reason why we have such genetic diversity. I mean, it's the whole reason why there are sexes to begin with. You know, like we could just multiply asexually if we wanted to just have the same genetic material over and over again. So, I mean, we're driven naturally to mix and match.
Or, I mean, you can think about the royal family. They inbred it for generations. That's how they
True.
keep the royal blood blue.
Yeah, and I was also going to tell you, like, this is something, one of those MythBuster type deals. You know, cousins are not more likely to have genetic abnormalities. It is a problem if you do it over generations, though. So it would take something like 4 or 5 cousin marriages before you start seeing some abnormalities.
Overlap.
Like making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Right.
It's like starts to like
yeah, exactly. Like, and where that came from was the French Revolution, right? When people started turning against the aristocracy, people started coming up with that idea that cousins marrying each other made you inferior, and it was a way of, you know, making it easier to kill these royal family people, right? It's like y'all are kind of mutts anyway, so and it kind of stuck, yeah.
So
it's not
speaking. So, Swag. Speaking of having your pants off, does size matter? I knew you were going to giggle. That's why I said it not too, Malcolm. I knew you were going to take the high road, Malcolm. So I went to the person that would giggle. You, sir, what does it matter?
Who, me or Malcolm?
You.
Me? No. Well, I mean, let me rewind a little bit. Like, I mean, I'm not the kind of person that's like, well, how big is it? And if it's like a certain size, I'd be like, oh, no, I can't. Yeah. It was, you know, I try to get to know the person first. And it's just like, I mean, whatever size they come with, it's like, okay, well, you know, we'll work with what you got. But
from the 90s, I don't want no short dick man. Malcolm, the size matter?
No, actually, I'm surprised to say this, but I think what matters most is if it feels good. I mean, and for me, size is a part of that. Like, say if you're too small or your technique is in such a way where you're often like, I don't know, hitting the sphincter, coming in and out of the hole because it's too short.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that that can be painful. It can be uncomfortable. And that is related to size, but not entirely due to size, right? Like if you know you have a small dick and you know you're coming out, in and out, then hit the fucking hole, all right? Like, have some good goddamn air. So that the shit don't hurt. I'm not one who needs to feel this sense of fullness, because honestly, that's not where most of the pleasure comes in anyway. For me, I don't know about, maybe for other people it does. You know, digging all the way down into someone's guts, to me, is just like, that's a neat feeling. Is something I would recommend happen once, just so you know what it's like. But it's not the best part of it to me. So,
right.
Okay. Well, watch this.
Yeah.
You tell me after this. Go ahead.
I don't want to get judged for wanting a man with a medium-sized penis, and I say that because I attract a lot of men who have, and you know, I guess big is subjective, whatever. But for me, a 10-inch dick is big. 9 inches. You know what? 8 inches plus is big for me. And when men whip it out and they expect me to do something with it, I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do, because I like my ability to walk. I like my ability to breathe. And I'm not sacrificing that for you. I just met you. And then they get pissed off with me or whatever. So I often I let guys know. I'm like, I'm not asking for a dick pic because I want to see like a big or nothing. I'm asking because I want to know that I'm not going to have my life jeopardized. And so I'm very upfront about wanting a man with a medium-sized penis, and I don't like being judged for it.
No judgment.
Okay.
Though it's a little bit of a what a problem to have.
It's actually really bad, and then guys will get pissy with me because people think I'm joking when I'm like, I just want to kiss and cuddle and stuff, and then they pull it out. I'm like, oh no, I just want to kiss and cuddle. And they're like, oh, you for real? And then they'll try to like get my ready and stuff,
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like, Gee.
Jesus Christ.
My ears.
Love that. You guys, I discovered it yesterday. They are Samoan and attractive and funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah. So like, is that something that you put out there? Like, I know often on other shows we talk about, and join us in a few minutes for the weekly rewind, but we talk about size and dating, but regardless of what we think, sex is a huge part of dating and relationships.
Yeah.
I know people that lie to themselves. Oh, it doesn't matter. It does, because, like, how can I say this? White people smell inherently have a different body scent. Well, I'm not talking about body odor or using soap or how often you shower or not. We just smell differently.
Mm-hmm.
There is a different body chemical that is emitted at the time of lovemaking, and we just smell and taste different than our clear counterparts. Even Spanish people feel different than people on the African diaspora. So you meet the man at the club, Malcolm, and you tell him, y'all are drinking, of course, and you have these conversations. You're like, I like a man on the smaller thing. But he was like, I got 11 and a half. Now, you going to be adventurous and go ahead and rip your walls out, or you going to be like, nah, no, thank you?
That is a good point. When I was younger, I definitely would have gone for it.
Just gone for it.
Yeah, but honestly, like in retrospect, now that I've dealt with that, and it's one of those eyes bigger than your stomach type deal where.
Thanks. That is a crazy.
Yeah, like you already had a full meal, and
no. Wait, now you had time to prepare.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it's just one of those where, like, you're gonna have to just let some of that go, because you can't handle it all,
So the size or the surprise? What is it gonna be?
I don't know if I would say no preemptively. I'd have to see. What someone says their size is very subjective. Like, I don't think everyone knows what 11 and a half is, but if you're saying 11 and a half, I'm guessing it's too big.
It's a goddamn ruler. Go in there and get this ruler out the book bag and look at it.
Nobody gets that shit right. I'm sorry. When someone says 11, I'm like, yeah, show me. I don't believe you, really.
Oh, you
it's always something other than
Missouri now. Missouri now, the show me state. I get you.
Yeah,
right.
It's not real.
But we've talked about this before, where, like, when you've been on the apps and stuff like that, and people are talking, you're getting to know people and stuff like that. Like, I had talked to people who, like, I want somebody who's like 13 inches and it's like a baby arm, and it's like, and have you ever been penetrated by that before? No, I've never seen it, but I've seen it in porn and it looks hot. It's like, if you have never been penetrated by a 13-inch penis that looks like a baby arm, trust and believe it is not going to feel the way that you think it feels like in porn. I am telling you now, like dude says, you will be walking funny for a little bit of while. It is not going to be painful. Your butthole is not this magical orifice that just stretches open and just accepts everything, every single size. Like, that shit is going to hurt. it's not gonna feel good. I am telling you, y'all need to be careful about saying what you want. And I get it, because like porn makes it look like, you know, the bigger it is, the better it is, the more fun you're gonna have, and all that kind of stuff. You know, and I've actually kind of seen like this backlash, like, and Malcolm, I think you'll know kind of some of the performers I'm talking about. There are a few performers out there, people like Yardy and what's the other one? Fat Rabbit Killer, who have enormous penises, and when they do what they do with people, it doesn't look like it's fun. It does not look like these people are having fun. It looks like these people are in immense pain. Yeah. And I'm just like, why do it then? If it's, I mean, I get it. It's like, if you're a content creator, you do what you got to do to get that bag, but still, it's like, y'all don't look comfortable. Like, y'all look like y'all are gonna need, y'all, it looks like y'all gonna need IV drips after this. and like medical care. I'm just, I get it. It's like,
the funny thing is, though, it's like, if you get to the point where you can handle it, quote unquote, and you're like in a relationship with that person, they're not going to be fully satisfied by someone who can just handle it. They're going to want to go in, and you're not going to be able to handle, actually going in, to a full degree. So like, I think I've heard this term of like side dick versus boyfriend dick. Like big dick is always side dick. Let's be real. Like, you're not going to be able to take that on the regular.
That's what you do. Like, that's what you do. Like on your birthday, we just like, you know what? I just want to have fun.
That's fun. That's, right. You can try it once in a while, but if you're like in a relationship with some dick like that,
right,
it's gonna get tiresome. They're gonna be frustrated because they can't really go in the way they want to go in. It's not gonna be as frequently as they want to go.
Let me tell you, Demon Exists says, are they measuring from the base or the balls? What is the proper?
But that's the thing, yeah, that's a good point. That's the reason why a lot of those measurements are wrong. Not only that, like
when you get to those kind of sizes, I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. When it looks like a baby arm, nobody cares whether it's from the base or from the ball. That shit's gonna hurt.
Well, I'm just saying the reason why measurements are inaccurate is that a dick size changes. First of all, depending on how hard it is. Secondly, how where you measure it from. Because I think a lot of people measure from the balls, which is probably the most accurate way to do it, from the base of the shaft to the tip, versus like from the top of the head. Anyway, I don't know. Whatever.
And when you have a smaller one, of course you want to measure from whatever gives you the biggest number. But it's like, again, some people don't care. It's like it's not like I will kick you out of bed because you are under average or something like that. As long as you know how to work with it, or the type of person that you are in bed, I think I would imagine that most people, it really just kind of depends on what you want. If you're just looking to just have, like you said, if you just want fun dick, maybe it does really matter like what size it is. But if it's like you just want to have, a relationship, or you just like, I want meaningful sex, I want good sex, whatever, then maybe it might matter a little bit more. But
yeah, enough is enough, right? Like,
yeah, right.
If it's enough, it's enough. That's what
yes, Sammy, we did. You were making fun of us last week for the lack of it, so we decided to send some your way,
Sammy, and you float down the river like we did. By the way, it's raining again this weekend here in the great planet of Atlanta. So
right. So people in the audience, does it matter to you? Do you want? Does the size matter? Do you want it big? Do you want it small? Are you going to kick somebody out of bed if it's too big? What do y'all say? Let us know.
Sammy,
what are you sleeping saying?
What Sammy has to say about this. Most people on the streaming over here saying, I think they're being polite. Because check it out. When they get in your inboxes, how big is it? I want to ride a fire hydrant.
Right.
That's funny.
I'm telling you, if you are a novice to it, I know porn makes it look like it's a whole lot of fun, and you're just gonna be like, whew, today drained me, but you may not really want something that big.
No.
Your first time. Like, just start, get you some training wheels. Start out small. Don't go for the big wheel.
That's funny.
Get your little trike first.
That's funny. But the funny thing is, though, like I said, to me, I've been hurt more by little dicks than big dicks. Strangely enough.
See, and that's the point. I mean,
because they feel like they trying to go in with this little thing and they're just poking you, and that can hurt, like straight up, if it's not actually going in the right spot and they keep slipping out.
Right,
that shit is fucking painful. So
yeah, okay.
Speaking of which, you know what some people are fascinated by nowadays? I have seen this uptick of people who are fascinated with what they call the micro penis. Like it is just so small. It's like just.
But I am fascinated, but what fascinates me is not the penis; it's that their level of brashness about it. Like it's this guy, he calls himself the brown button.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to interview him for years about his
the confidence to him.
Confidence of like, and he's like, yeah, it's 2 inches and hard. Look at it. He'll show videos of him peeing, and I'm just goddamn fascinated by this.
There's a content creator that I follow, and like he often will what they call cage his. They put it in what looks like a little case or whatever. Yeah, exactly. And it actually makes it a bit smaller. And that's his thing. It's like he wants it to be as small as possible.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
And he's cool with that. It's just like, I love that for you.
Is a cop, and I'm like, so I had to pull him over to the side in the inbox. I was like, listen, I don't want none, but I have questions. I was like, most black men got cake. You know what I mean? How do you get people like, look, you got to spread that thing open? It was a whole conversation. So, Brown Button, if you're out there, you're a safe place. You come over here and you talk.
Absolutely. I would love to have a discussion about that. Because, I mean, it's the exact opposite of what we're used to. We're always used to hearing about, the bigger the better, and you just want, the biggest possible. And it's like, it'd be interesting to hear from the micro penis or the smaller side of things.
Does anybody out there proud of their micro penis? Just talk to me. Sammy says, I prefer men with a regular to a small penis. I'm not trying to choke myself out on dick. I get it. I think I've had a good range of sizes, 5 to 12. Which mattered most was having fun with the person.
Exactly.
So romantic demon. Look at you. You're gonna be running for office before long. Mr. Silber, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. How you doing, sir? Malcolm, I think you not understanding what love can do to a person. When you are in love, not every big dick top wants to destroy your whole. But that's not the point Malcolm was making.
They just feel sexually unsatisfied.
Right. And not to disagree with, I'm not disagreeing with you. You are correct. And love will get you halfway down the shaft.
Right.
Other part of the way.
But like, if you go on a week without getting what you want, and that happens week after week, eventually you're gonna get unsatisfied.
Or the top, he will be satisfied because I guess whatever will happen as adults. But like I know some people who have husbands, they can't take all of their husbands, and they're like, oh, I've never taken it all, so good,
like they might find a compromise there. I don't know.
Or they okay, they'd be like, he need to find some white twink that take that small.
Or there are other ways to have sex that don't involve, you.
I mean, guest stars are a thing.
Right. Guest stars. Right.
There you go.
Watch your husband destroy some little twink.
Yeah.
Mr. Zuber also says, when you're in a relationship, both parties should be focused on pleasing each other, and with a lot of practice and patience, both parties can be sexually satisfied. Mr. Zuber, that is all fantastic in a world that Bill Cosby's innocent and Kanye West is not an asshole. Listen, that is
Right.
all. We're talking about physical,
Right.
ramifications and physical issues.
Square pegs, round holes. You know.
Right. I don't care. I have a friend, my friend. I'm gonna talk about you. If you're watching, you will know it's you, because Dick sent my friend to the ER, and I was at work in the middle. I'm like, why? And I had to get off work to go to the ER to meet him. I'm like, friend, why are you getting fucked at 2:00 in the afternoon? I'm in a meeting. Like, why are you at home? Why ain't you at work? First of all, why are you home taking schlong? You know what I mean? And he was like, I called in today so I could take, I told this nigga I was gonna sink this dick. Yeah, he rearranged your insides because physically he could not do this thing that he wanted to.
Right.
Now he had the guff and the gumption and all this thing he wanted to. He said he prepared and when he eat for 2 days. He thought it was a thing. Because I was like, Ninja, I got to come get you because the ambulance had to come get you because you didn't drive to the ER. You don't want to call your mother, your brother, or your partner because you're at home doing the unspeakable deed. And now your guts hanging all out in the hospital. That's what you get. So he's now that he will no longer participate in long schlong Thursdays. The one that really scared me are the bendy twisty dicks. What the fuck did you get that from? What, the one that looked like Gonzo's nose?
Right.
There was a guy when I told you we had sex parties or whatever. Everybody called him Reading Rainbow.
Was that curved?
It was that curved.
Wow.
Gentlemen, we now know that's called Peyronie's disease.
Yes.
Did y'all ever you listen to the commercial for Peyronie's disease, though, all the side effects?
Yes.
But I tell you, the worst is the beer can, guys. I'm sorry.
Brandon says, this is what happens when you kin to people. Look at this motherfucker here. I was like, not Drayton saving rectums.
Doing the Lord's work.
Doing the Lord's work, Brandon. Amen.
Oh, God.
Thank you for that wonderful cup of coffee this morning, by the way. I appreciate you. That is Brandon Muller, brother. He's always the hand that you see feeding me in the evenings.
The mysterious hand that you just in.
Mysterious hand. He has great hair to go with great hands. So there you go. I don't know. I would recommend people know your body. Like if you can't, because I'm not gonna sit down. I'm gonna hurt you, and if it's gonna be a whole sadomasochism situation. Because first of all, you're not gonna bleed on my 300 thread sheets. First of all, we're gonna be adults, and we're gonna blink again. Swag, I love that. Just blink. I mean, I don't want you bleeding on my sheet like that. We're not here for this. Then we're here to have a good time as adults. So, if you need somebody to make you bleed, that you can hire someone for that.
But you know what? There are people who
I know
enjoy that kind of thing, and it's like we always say here, we don't want to yuck somebody's yum, but if that's
sometimes you do want to yuck.
Well, sometimes we do. It just depends. But in this case, again, if you're grown and you're an adult and
because sometimes
know the ramifications of what's going to transpire and you're okay with that, then go ahead and knock yourself out. Not everybody wants that. Like the dude says, I want to be able to breathe. I want to be able to walk to work the next day and not be uncomfortable. So but some people enjoy it, and if that's your thing, then hey, knock yourself out.
God bless you. I'm gonna tell y'all something, because have you ever seen like a younger, like they're in their 50s, like how did he end up in diapers, or what does he do to be on? You know what I'm saying? Like the elasticity of your sphincter will wear out, and you won't be able to. I forgot the name of the disease, and you won't be able to hold. I think
it's like prolapse or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got a prolapse, hootie hottie, and you take your coos. You got a prolapse coos. I love when she said that in Southern. You took your tongue and you stuck it in my coos and you fucked me to death. I want it on a t-shirt. Right. Now, good and bad. I am not the only game here on M3. All during the week, we have very, very satisfying programming. It's just so. What I have the pleasure of doing, with the help of Swag, of course, is compiling our favorite clips of the week, and we call it the Weekly Rewind. Y'all like that? No. We cannot. Y'all need to join Patreon. We can't afford effects. Come on now. So, let me take a deep breath, grab some water, and you take a meander at the Weekly Rewind. Here we go. Ba, ba, ba. I want my...
I'm gonna do trailers first, and then I'm gonna do fuck around and find out. We have a trailer here for Peacemaker season 2.
Okay.
They're gonna be doing backflips to get you to join.
Welcome, Peacemaker, or do you prefer Chris?
Either's fine.
Can you tell us a little about your skills?
I'm considered the finest marksman in the world.
The mic is off.
Yeah.
I am also proficient in hand-to-hand combat.
How many more of these do we have today?
Is that popcorn still here?
You love popcorn.
My buzz is getting really big lately, so.
I have a variety of helmets.
This guy sucks.
Excuse me? Am I supposed to be able to hear you guys?
Excuse me?
You were talking about your butt and stuff. And also you said that I suck.
It is not funny.
I don't get it. We saved the world.
I thought everyone would finally treat us like heroes.
I don't need anybody else to just forge my own path.
You're living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto.
I've come to the conclusion you suffer from a particularly severe form of toxic masculinity.
What?
Argus has been monitoring Peacemaker ever since Rick Flag Sr. was named director. Does he know that I am?
Kill this time? Yeah.
Bring me Peacemaker.
Mexicali, you scan for any anomalies throughout that house. Pony boy, don't let him out of your sight. Titties, I want you to take the front door. Casino man, take the back door. Got it?
Yeah, but not the fucking names.
Was that Dr. Dre?
What do you think we are? Fucking Berkeley?
We haven't always been great people. But
We are the 11th Street Kids. No one will ever break us apart.
You ready for the next adventure, pal?
He got giggly.
Who the fuck are you?
By saying hello to all the mothers and thank you guys so much for raising us, spanking our asses, and feeding us. Also, some very funny things out there. Here's one of my favorites. Go ahead, Malcolm.
You should know that God is with me. Want you to know that people
Mother better set that.
Oh, okay. I think I figured it out.
You did. You got it.
Yes. I was monitoring the Instagram feed. I've never done that before. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Yep. So Mother had several seats. So I laughed because my mother, at the end of my mother's life, she started sitting down like it just started. So I was laughing.
Yeah.
So happy Mother's Day to each of you.
moving on to one of our favorite segments. Are the straights okay?
I knew he was gonna use it.
This one comes from Nick. He sent it to me on Facebook, and I said, "Yes, this is definitely one that we have to use." So, so Nick, since you presented it, I'll let you present this one. So here's what Nick said.
Oh, I saw this. I saw this on Facebook too.
If you jack off, technically you get hard by a man's touch. So technically you gay.
That's funny.
But what's even better is one of the responses that he sent as well.
I heard this a few weeks ago and I haven't touched my meat since. Nope, not even washed it. Ew. Ew.
Oh no!
Because so many of my man's meat would be gay, as so I ain't gonna do it. And the
I
person,
bet you he stank.
this is what I mean when I swear this page is ran by a 13-year-old. I swear.
For really basic things, feeling gratitude in this way. And I have some questions afterwards we can talk
If you could trade lives with the richest person in the world from 200 years ago, would you do it? And before you answer, stop and think through it for a moment. When you trade, you will still have your memories. You will be comparing that life to this one. We're going back to 1825. So for example, you will have infinite money to put whatever you want into your home. But obviously in 1825, even infinite money does not buy you electric lights or running water or a refrigerator or air conditioning. It does not buy you a telephone or any form of instant communication. There's no form of mass media. There's no recorded music. But you have infinite money to bring people and to perform for you. You can have a party every single night. You presumably do not have a job you have to go to. You have infinite money to travel anytime you want. But when you do, it will be done using a horse on dirt roads and become mud certain times of the year. And these trips take weeks. And of course, you have no climate control in your vehicle. You're subjected to the heat or the cold. And if you want to do an international trip, it's on a boat being driven by sails, which of course takes weeks or months. You would have the absolute finest possible chefs preparing the finest possible ingredients imported from all over the world, with the understanding that there are strict limitations on what can be imported because, again, no refrigeration. You have servants that will take care of absolutely anything. You have servants who will help you get dressed and help you bathe. You will not have to lift a finger if you don't want to, but if you get sick, you are limited to the medical technology of the era. You have infinite money for the finest healers, but those healers do not have access to antibiotics or modern surgical techniques. And if you need surgery, they are not going to be able to put you under. They don't have anesthesia. And again, while you're living here, you are acutely aware of what you left behind, that all of those things did exist in the world you came from. So you would have power and respect in your choice of friends and partner, but there would be no such thing as a hot shower. So would you make that trade?
Okay, y'all. So the Diddy trial continues. Testifying.
That's what
And
wore me out today.
so let me get y'all's perspective on what's happening here with Cassie and the public's reaction to Cassie's testimony at this juncture. Okay.
I think it's solid.
I know.
Her testimony is solid. I've heard little clips, and that's what I was doing today. I was trying to watch that. I was also trying to watch the hearings at the Supreme Court about immigration. So I was going back and forth. But
I mean,
everything she's saying is solid. I mean,
but if you look at what he's done on trial for being a freak,
Right.
we still haven't gotten to the meat and potatoes of where is the crime.
you have to build your case.
And it's not going anywhere. Everybody's gonna say he paid me, I took the money, so you are a willing participant or whatever. Like today, he OD'd in 2012. So what? So what? I'm waiting to hear he beat you up, but you stayed. He held me prisoner. I was captive.
You know what? I got into it, but somebody was saying that on the chat earlier today about something where a text message said that she was ready to do the freak offs or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, She's under duress. She gon' like what she said yesterday. I'm gonna do any and everything to stay alive. She already know if she say no, I don't want to do it.
Right.
He probably gonna bop her in the head. So yeah, I would probably did the same goddamn thing. Yeah, I'm ready. Come on, let's get it. Come
Girl,
on.
right? If they would have caught me on the film, they're like, look at her. She is like turning it. She is like the star of the party. Because, girl, I'm gonna make you believe, Diddy, that everything's okay till I can figure out the Great Escape.
Right.
So let's go ahead and start with the Diddy trial. I have to say this. I am no Diddy apologist, party people, not. But you got to be careful when you accuse somebody in the public square of a court. You know what I'm saying? Because so tomorrow Diddy, Thursday you. Because so what we're saying is and we're not saying that we're not believing the egregious or the person that's accusing him. This is not black woman hate. This is not any of that. This is facts in court. And I stick to my same, I'm on my hour now, so listen. We're sticking to the fact of Diddy is not on trial for being a freak. Diddy is not on trial for being a cuckold, and he's not on trial for being mean and surly to people. None of that. He's on trial for sex trafficking or crimes thereof related to. And you cannot sex traffic the willing. And this is all I'm saying. She had, and the defense is bringing it up time and time again. You were alone a lot. So if you felt like you were in imminent, you traveled around the world by yourself. You traveled around the country and all I'm saying is, listen, you traveled, you had the opportunity to break free. Oh, but she was in mental bond. No, she was in money bond. Because her life and it was such the thing of they eventually broke up and she married a white dude. So yeah, it wasn't no event, no Anime and Ike thing that went on. She left. He let her leave. She dated someone else and married. He cut her, and so this is where it's going to fall apart. He said, "I'm not going to pay you anymore. Do what you will." All of a sudden, all these memories came back, and all of a sudden, your abuse has now a dollar value. That's my only problem with this. Like, if you're abused, I understand that, but your abuse should not have a dollar amount. If you were abused, you should want your abuser and your captor to be in jail and rot in there. It should not. You should not be able to. You shouldn't want to sell your integrity. You should not want to. Oh, now I'm out of money. This is what I'm gonna do to take care of me and my husband. I'm gonna tell. Oh, nigga, you're not gonna give me no more money. That is the whole downfall in this. Finding baby oil is not a crime. Giving niggas drugs is not a crime. Sending for dick and ass from across states from willing participants that were of age. And the other thing is they have not interviewed anybody that was under the age of 18. So so be careful when we start pointing fingers, especially here in the Trump era. We have to be careful when we start pointing fingers at presumably guilty people. He probably did whatever they accused him of doing. I know it, but they're going about this the whole wrong way. And this is my problem is it's always a different standard when people of color get in court. It took them decades to do something to Weinstein. He would have beat this, you know what I mean? But, and so all I'm saying is we have to be careful with due process and justice. We cannot lose, in the Trump era, we cannot lose sight of due process. And I think we are all, Diddy is a devil. He is. And should he be in jail? Probably. You know, and I think he did worse things than what they're accusing him of, probably. You know, look, when the party was over, you knew to leave. And she's saying she couldn't leave. I'm sorry for that she felt that. If she ever felt trapped or entangled in anything, I'm sorry for that. But, like, yeah, get you some new lawyers, boo. Because they're not, I mean, in my eyes, they're not doing you any justice. And it depends on, I just don't see any proof. Yeah, so he OD'd in 2012. All the salacious stuff. We always want to hear salacious things in celebrities' lives. But, you know, yet and still, you know, he's a father and probably soon to be a grandfather. And is he the devil? Probably. But you can't tie your memories and your experiences to a dollar amount. What say ye, Swag? Wow.
No. What I was going to say is this. I think a lot of people are misunderstanding what's going on here. This isn't Diddy versus Cassie.
Right.
This is not what this is. What I believe is that they are establishing a pattern. So I hear the stuff that you're saying, but I just think that is just setting up for this is the kind of person that we're dealing with. This is the type of person that he is. This is the things that he's capable of. Now, yes, I think there's some testimony where she says at the beginning, yeah, she went along with it because, you know, she was in love and she thought this is what she got to do, you know, to please her man. And I think as things went progressively forward in the relationship, it turned. I mean, there's testimony from one of the sex workers that said that, like, one time he wanted to do something to her and she didn't want to do it, and he beat her up pretty bad, and the dude's like, yeah, I'm out because I can't perform now because of what you just did. Like, I'm not feeling this. So I don't see this as like all tied into her, and it's like the whole case hinges on her experience, what she's going through. I think they're just setting up like this is the type of person that he is, this is the type of stuff he's done, and there are going to be more witnesses who are coming in, because it's not just, you know, these freak offs were not just for her. I mean, these freak offs had other people that were flown in to do things, and there are a lot of people who are now lining up saying, like, yeah, me too. I was a victim of this. I didn't want to do this. He gave me drugs. I was under the influence. And I think there's a precedent that you can't be under the influence and give consent. So if that's the case, I mean, then he's done.
Well, yeah, you're correct. But if you gave consent before the drugs were given, and you've been in, like, he hired regulars, you know what I mean? That hats off to him. And again, I don't want to, because it's going to end up being around the internet. Let me say it again. I am not a Diddy apologist. He did it. I believe he did it. And I hope he spends the rest of his natural life in jail. But what I'm saying is they're not doing a very good job, because everybody they bring on to establish, as you were saying, the pattern, there's you can shoot holes in it. Malcolm, before we move on, what do you have to any comments on this?
I think the whole situation is sad. I think two things can be true at the same time, because I do hear what you're saying, where, you know, people can be influenced by money and power and seek out something. Consent is not something that's just given once and you have it forever either. So, I mean, like, there's obvious criminal activity that's happening. And the funny thing is, I don't think witnesses have to be perfect. You know?
Well, I just want to remind people that dear Bill, the rapist in chief himself, Bill Cosby, just walked out of prison. So I don't know. I hope Diddy gets his, because if he don't, God help the world, because they better move to I don't know where they can move to when you have that much money, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm hoping, that he does not get off and he's able to enact revenge.
No, I think there's a lot of evidence that the testimony just corroborates.
Well, the biggest one, he is their star witness, but the biggest one is, my problem with this is she decided to say something after he stopped paying. So that is just huge.
I'm just saying, like, in many court cases,
no,
pay No, I'm just saying, like, this is a normal thing that people do in criminal testimony.
Right.
People
So
cut deals. People.
it was no. What
No, I'm just saying, like, this is something like in the majority of criminal cases, when someone is testifying against someone else, they have made a deal with the prosecution to testify.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about before they got to court.
I know. I'm just saying that there are outside influences, whether it be money, whether it be reduced sentencing, whether it be confidentiality, all those things.
We got 3 more topics to go through.
Yeah. That's what I'm just saying. Like, it's fucking life is not black and white.
Good luck. So good luck to either side, wherever you stand.
Yeah.
Good luck to Cassie, but like, have a meeting with your lawyers, tighten up. And that's all I'm saying. Because when somebody has that much money, just tighten up. So let's 200. I thought about this 200-year thing. So now nobody. I'm gonna look. The loophole was when I go back, are they gonna check my bags?
Yes.
I don't think you have any bags.
Right.
Because I'm like, I'm gonna put some medicine in my.
The caveat was you'll have your memories, but that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
if you have a really good memory, you pull out a book and you start writing down everything you remember. Hopefully,
right. But like, you won't have access to
Can
comfort features that you have today. Yeah.
Do you get to study up on anatomy and medicine and technology?
How do I make antibiotics at home and shit?
Right, exactly.
You better memorize that shit real good. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Can I get this shit tattooed on my forearm or write it down?
That's not a bad idea. That's a pretty good loophole.
I thought about this as we were doing the week. Because I knew Swag was going to pull it.
Have your whole body like something from Prison Break, or just like
you're just
all
like
the world knowledge.
Could you imagine somebody going back and let's say somebody who is like a little genius who knows all that stuff and like could kick those technological advances off earlier? Where will we be now?
You know what's so funny is that there are instances of geniuses who have figured stuff out hundreds of years before. Leonardo da Vinci is a perfect example. He's an artist.
Perfect example.
He had figured out things for like flying machines, computers, electric transistors. Like, this was hundreds of years before anyone had figured it out. He had started dissecting bodies just so that he could paint faces and things better.
Right.
So he knew things about anatomy and medicine that people didn't know. Yeah, it was crazy. And of course, like, a lot of that was just in his notes somewhere in a laboratory somewhere. So, like,
right.
It is true. There are alternate histories where that shit could have gotten, publicly disseminated, and people could have learned it earlier.
We could be living in Black Mirror today if we wanted to.
Yeah.
I also want to remind people that George Jetson, according to the cartoon, turns 5 this year or 4. 5 or 4 years old.
Oh yeah.
That always blows me. That always blows me.
I didn't know that.
When they be like, "Oh, this year George Jetson would have been 7," or
Right. I think I remember hearing. I think I remember when like they said like George Jetson was born today. It's like that was several years ago. So yeah.
That's interesting.
Demons, it's not just I'm saving rectums. His 600 thread sheet. Bring that shit over here. Some people want their dimension punched repeatedly and with extreme vigor.
Their 4th dimension.
I don't even know what to say to that. We're gonna move on. My only problem with that trailer is that Tidy Whities get wet. You can see print. Where was the print?
Where was the print? There is something about John Cena and Tidy Whities. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so the other guy is Mark Wahlberg, right? Or both.
What other guy?
Oh, both of them were John Cena. Is he playing like a?
I'm assuming it's like maybe he went into an alternate universe and that's him. I don't know.
Mark Wahlberg has canceled himself. Interesting. Because he says he wasn't going to work with somebody that was woke, and he's on the apology tour trying to walk that back. Hats off to Hollywood.
Mark Wahlberg has been problematic for a while. I don't know why people assume that like he's some sort of liberal bastion or whatever. He's always been a problem. So I'm not surprised
okay.
by that.
I'm glad I didn't know that.
Yes.
Cassie was 19 years old when they met, and then was probably her first serious relationship. She met with a powerful man. Why did her mama did her like Anime Bullock. Girl, don't leave. He love you. Let him beat on you for a minute. And sadly, that's what it was. Now, what we got? We got now talked about and what else we had?
We had the Straits.
Oh my!
Oh yeah.
Dirty.
Is that real though? I mean, dirty.
Yeah, it was dirty dick trade. I tell you.
I mean, I'm just always fascinated by the things people come up with, and it's just like, really. I mean, I think they were just trying to be funny or whatever, but like, I literally could see some dude be like, "Yeah, man, I can't touch my dick anymore because if I get hard, that means I got hard by a man." So,
well, you know, there is a whole segment of people, they call it NoFap, and you know, people who are like opposed to porn and masturbation. They say it's to like retain semen, and the only time they're supposed
Somebody just talk to me about it.
So the only time they want to nut is inside of a woman, basically. And they said that makes you more of a man that way. It wasn't about not touching your dick; it was about not letting the semen go to waste.
Spill, yeah.
They must. That's some Catholic bullshit if I ever heard.
I mean, there's some podcast bro bullshit. You know, red pill, right wing conspiracy theorists. People
only come in pussy. Nice. And they've studied jacking off. That's it. And so then we did 200 years. We did Cassie. We did.
And then there was your segment, the funny clip.
I love that because that reminds me of my grandma, and my mama sitting down.
Oh yeah,
I've been in church and seen many an elder sit that way and be like, "Oh Lord." I laughed when I saw that. Said, "Yeah, that brings back memories." I have seen that sit before, and you gotta love it. That looks like something that probably should have been a Tyler Perry parody. Like I can see people in Tyler Perry movies.
I love that. You can catch each and every one of these shows weekly here. Starting off the week is Devon Sundays at 5 p.m. with him and the Blurred Council. We'll talk about everything that blurs need to know. Tune in 5 p.m. on this very network. Again, wherever you are, we are. Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter. Fuck you, Elon. Twitch, Instagram, and shit is constantly getting in my beard. What is this? It's just like what am I doing? What am I touching? Please, and then Monday you can catch me and Malcolm right here at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we rock and roll you at the beginning of your week, and we talk about business news. And he's coming from, and I'm coming from shit that makes me laugh because I'm doing everything out of joy and love for you. That is my new stance. Joy. Tuesday night, speaking of joy, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my man Swag for Life is in the building. Catch him in those TikTok streets, Swag for Life. We have an interesting show for you next week. I'm going to have a teaser. Stay put. Don't go anywhere. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on this very network. And then we can all roll over to Wednesdays, the Hump Day, as we go through Hump Day with Dr. The Philosopher King himself, the very, very, very handsome founder of our very network, Malcolm Travis, the Philosopher King himself, as he tantalizes and titillates us with religion, sex, and mental health topics. Thursday night, he's back in the building with season 5 of the Diggler Digest. Wigs all around. Wigs for no reason. Wigs for every occasion. And just tune in Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're a podcast bro, 2 of them need to check out. The first one is Malcolm's podcast. M3 presents the Bearcast. Every Friday, new episode. Check it out. Check it in. Bring a friend. There are tons of episodes that you can catch up on. Very interesting topics. And then 2 Grooms in a Pod. Cream and his husband Shannon talk about marital issues. love, sex, money, and relationships. It is so interesting and entertaining. They are just precious. They are precious, Lamb of God.
I was listening to it today. It was like
They're just so precious. They do. And next week, so speaking of next week, so let me just show you a clip of what I'll be talking about next Saturday so you can tune in, bring a friend. Check this out.
Where is that clip?
It should be the last one. It should be the last one, baby. Shout out to Vanessa Williams. How are you, mommy? Love you so much, dearly. Shout out to Galvin Gregory. Love you dearly. Everybody. Hey there, Rock. What's going on?
I didn't do that one. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I thought I did that one. I don't have it.
So next week we'll be discussing. Damn, I forgot what the hell I was talking about. We'll be discussing straight men that have sex with men but don't identify as gay. There is a therapist online, and she's explaining to the people, listen, why are you posting on this? If you're not in that category, this should not be coming up in your algorithm. Your algorithm in your phone is going to tell on you every time. So if you don't want somebody to know that you're into big dick trannies, stop commenting on the shit that big dick trannies talk about, because it's going to tell on you. Because that's how the algorithm works. You know, it's all the gays don't know each other for a reason, because your algorithm knows that you're a mo, knows that you're homosexual, and so it shows you RuPaul, where to meet gays in your area, 1-800-FAG. It shows you all those things. So if you don't want somebody to know something about who you are, where you do it, stay out of the algorithm. That goes for TikTok, all that things. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, homosexuals and heterosexuals alike, stay out of people's comments if you do not know. Beyonce keeps showing up on mine because I keep looking for concert tickets. And now I know too much about Beyonce. So again, that's how the algorithm works. I deploy you. So we'll be talking about, she has a series of 4-part, 5-part series telling them to stay out of the people's business that they don't want to know about. I wasn't talking to you, white ladies. So tune in next Saturday as we talk about that. And join us for a few minutes for Patreon at patreon.com/MailMediaMind. Boom. We will be right there in 1 second to titillate you and to entertain you into Saturday evening. Y'all going to the disco, get some chicken. Have a great Saturday. As always, I'd like to thank my lovely co-host, the Elderberry Swag for life himself. Don't forget Tuesday, 7 p.m. And my partner in crime in this podcasting endeavor, Malcolm the Afro King, as I want to call him for this album. Don't forget to check him out Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. It's really entertaining. It's really eye-opening. To our regulars, Ak, Sammy, Demon, Mr. Super, thank you so much for all coming through, and all the new viewers that we have in, and all my premium whores over here on the stream team. I appreciate you so much, and I love you dearly. Come on over to Patreon, become a paid member, get access to our adult content that Malcolm procures so lovely for you. I hadn't looked at it. I went to go looking for the links this morning, and I was like, there are 75 new posts.
It's like new posts every weekend. I will.
Somebody porned up. So if you are too lazy to procure your own internet porn, let Malcolm do it for you. Join us and become a paid member. Get access to all our exclusive content right here. We have reached our time. Let's go. Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday Sit Down. Make it a joyous week, day, evening, month. Thank you for being, and be kind to one another. Thank you for choosing M3. Let's go.
Join us every weekend, though the vibe's so fine. Saturday, sit down with Mr. Drayton. Shine.
Grab a friend.